Good afternoon and welcome to Nutmeg Sports on the HA Network. Tuesday, September 12th. Frank Granito in studio alongside Kevin Coleman, and it is the day that Kevin has been waiting all summer for. We are into our soccer coverage season. Kev, bring us in, man.
I cannot wait. I mean, I know football, of course, we're all big football fans around here, especially here at the HA Network, but this is soccer time as well. You got to give soccer a lot of credit. This is a fun time of the year. You get to be around a great sport of soccer. You got a very competitive league like the FCAC, not only on the boys' side, but the girls' side. I tell you, Frank, this is some fun soccer to watch. We got exposed to it a little bit last year. Of course, you remember that Ridgefield St. Joseph's FCAC final. What a blast that was to be a part of. And we're looking forward to 2017. I think we're going to see a very different field this year. Look at Ridgefield. They lose a lot of seniors off that great team they had last year. St. Joe's, one of the top runners, but I think tonight that we're going to broadcast tonight between Fairfield Ludlow and Bryan McMahon, these are two teams I think you have to keep an eye on throughout the 2017 season.
Ludlow, of course, a team that had 13 seniors trying out this year, Kevin. They actually had to cut a couple of those girls just because of the depth on that roster. Bryan McMahon, a program on the rise. They were a state playoff team last season, and we're happy now to be joined on Nutmeg Sports by the second-year head coach, Angelo Singliotis. Coach, thank you for taking time with us this afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me on.
Well, let's start. We were just talking briefly off the air, Coach. This will be your first game of the season tonight at Ludlow. You guys had that opening weekend bye. What were your feelings and thoughts on that bye weekend?
It's always tough, especially when, we see all the other teams playing and the girls just want to get out there. The girls just want to play. But it gives us a little bit more time to figure out what we're trying to do, especially for the first couple of games. But it's difficult because they're coming off a win versus Stanford, so they already have a game under their belt. They got to work on game situations in a real game while we're working on them at practice. But it is what it is, and we got time to work on some little bit more fitness. We got some time to heal some girls, so just looking forward to getting out there tonight.
Now, Coach, your team was able to play with each other a lot this summer throughout not only just club but as well some captain's practices as you prepare for the off season. Your team graduated quite a few seniors off the roster last year, and coming into this year you have some starters that come back, even some young players that are being highly regarded coming into this season. What can we expect from the Senators not only tonight but from the rest of the season?
We're going to take it game by game, but like you said, we have a lot of stars returning, so the chemistry on the field is, we didn't have to work on that as much as, some other teams may have. But we're going to take it game by game. We're going to try to improve game by game. We're going to be, in my opinion, we're going to be in a very balanced team. We have great goalkeeping. Our defense is solid, midfield is solid, offense is solid too. We have a lot of girls that could score double-digit goals, so that'll be something that hopefully we work on and starts clicking earlier than later. But our goal is to make FCAC advance further in states than we did last year, and I think that.
You talk about having players on your roster that can score. One of them is Peyton McNamara. Talk about what you expect from Peyton this year for your team like the Senators.
Coach, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, there we go. I'm sorry. You know what? That was our fault right there. So Kevin was just wondering, Coach, Peyton McNamara, she's going to play a huge role for you guys this year. What are you expecting from her, especially on the offensive side of the field?
She's someone that could potentially lead the league in goals. What's also great about her is when she's out there, she's a leader, and it doesn't matter that she's going to be a sophomore this year. Girls look up to her. And she, last year, there's a lot of times when, if we needed to hold the lead late, she was willing to play defense for us. I mean, she played midfield and defense for us last year. Just thinking about the state game, we had to move her back there to hold the lead, and she'll do anything that we as coaches ask for her, and that's something that is extremely impressionable about her, is that she'll do what she needs to do on the offensive side, but if we need her to come back and to defend a little bit, she's more than willing to do whatever it takes to win.
Now let's talk about your back four. Olivia Leon comes back as a strong defender. What are you expecting from her and the rest of your back four, as well as your keeper and Tatiana Arias?
They've been working well together. In the preseason we had, Jocelyn Lister slides into the center back role, and all four girls are strong when they're defending, strong on the ball, and they're also quick, which is important to have against some of these other teams that we're going to be facing, some of these offensive juggernauts. So, it's a lot of them are going to be able to get their first test right now. Jocelyn played a lot last year in midfield. So did Sophia. So we're going to see how everything goes tonight. But for the most part, they're not scared to clear the ball. They could keep up with people. If they get beat, they could slide back into position. So looking forward to seeing how they work together.
Coach, let's look at last season. You talk about now you guys want to make the FCX playoff tournament. You were a state team last year. How do you build off those experiences? You missed out on FCX by just almost virtually a tiebreaker, just a couple of points. What are the girls last year now that they want to bring forward and use to motivate themselves and get those extra points to find their way into FCX?
It took them a while last year to realize how good we could have been last year. And that was one thing that we kept trying to do as a coaching staff, was to have them believe in themselves, because McMahon historically doesn't have a strong girls program. So I think this year that they're going to be able to feed off of that success we had last year. There were a couple games last year that maybe we went in we went in thinking that we will win, and we ended up getting draws or even losing some of them. So we'll learn from that. We'll learn from the mistakes. This year, any team could upset any team, and that's what's great about the FCX soccer. And we're gonna have to make sure that we really, truly compete in every game, and that we don't walk into any game thinking that it's already won, because one slip up could cost us.
And Coach, let's talk a little bit about your journey and how you got to this McMahon job. Of course, you had played at WestCon and you had a great career there. Talk about what your journey has been like leading up to here as you enter your second year as a girls' head soccer coach at Brian McMahon. Went up to WestCon, played soccer. I had under some great coaches, and for me, soccer has been life. I've always known I wanted to be a soccer coach, even when I was on the field. I initially started as a goalkeeper, then I went to center back for my senior season. Those are positions where you have to know soccer, you have to understand the tactics, you have to understand where other people should be. So I always knew coaching was in my future. I got a couple of years of experience at Trinity on the boys' side as an assistant there. And then, I heard of this great opportunity at McMahon, and the athletic director he told me that this would be a great opportunity, that the program was on the rise, and I have a great staff supporting me here, so essentially, so everything kind of like fell into place.
Well, first of all, Coach, I think just based on our past experience together, you would have made a very good hockey coach or baseball manager. I'm a little upset you ruled that out in favor of soccer, but I know that's always been a big family passion for you guys. Just last question for you here, Coach. Looking at tonight's game, what can we expect from the Senators? Is it going to take a little while to get your feet wet, or are your girls coming out of the gates storming here right away looking to get on the attack tonight?
We'll see. You're just as curious as I am, but it's going to be a battle. Last year we were evenly matched, both teams. And even I think that we ended with the same amount of points in the league. Last year we were down 1-0, came back to win 2-1. And as I mentioned earlier, they're coming off of a win versus Stanford, so they already have a game under their belt. So, we're going to look to obviously start right away. We don't want to give them any momentum, especially them playing at home. They'll have the crowd support. So we just want to, come out, hopefully get a goal in the first half, be able to calm our nerves a little bit, and then see where it goes from there.
Well, it will definitely be a lot of fun, Coach, and we're very excited to have you on for the first time tonight. We can't wait to get the girls soccer season started here on the HAN Network. We want to thank you for taking time with us and wish you best of luck tonight. We'll see you soon.
All right, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Good luck, Coach.
There we go. That was Coach Angelo Singliotis of the Brian McMahon girls soccer team. I think it's a program, Kevin, certainly trending in the right direction. He's saying all the right things right now, and I'm very excited to see how they come out tonight in that first game, while Ludlow does have a win under their belt already.
You're absolutely right. That is a huge question mark. Ludlow already has that advantage a little bit playing one game already. But listen, I think this is a very talented young group at McMahon. That's the key word, young. And I think they're experienced too. Last year, a lot of freshmen, sophomore, juniors had a lot, and I mean a lot of playing time. So it's going to be fun to watch. Peyton McNamara, that's my X factor tonight.
We're going to have more on girls soccer in just a minute, but first we step aside, hear from our sponsors. We're right back to Nutmeg Sports after this.
Want a new experience in car buying? No aggravation, no confrontation, just answers to all your questions. Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Car buying the way you want it to be. With one of the largest selections of new 2- and 4-door Jeep Wranglers available, we are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Located in Fairfield, Connecticut, we're easy to get to. Just 2.5 miles off the Merritt Parkway, exit 44 via Route 58 South. Save thousands right now during the Jeep Celebration event and Ram Power Days. Now through September 30th.
We know it's your busy season, and that's why Walter Stewart's Market is here to make things easy by offering the best of autumn under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market is your local one-stop fall shop. There are so many seasonal flavors to savor, and Stewart's has them all, from Blue Jay Orchard's local cider donuts to Vermont Farmstead cheddar and all of your favorite varieties of local apples and pears. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, and find us at stewartsmarket.com.
At the Kitchen Center of Connecticut, our showroom offers quality cabinetry and countertops, free consultation with our expert design staff, and affordable pricing. For all other home improvement needs, visit Northeast Building Supply, our full-service lumberyard and window showroom. The Kitchen Center, a division of Northeast Building Supply, 1470 Barnum Avenue, Bridgeport.
At Black Horse Garage, we fulfill all your sports car needs. We specialize in manufacturer-recommended service and aftermarket high-performance parts and installation. We have one of the nation's top storage facilities and offer a high-end collision department that understands your need for detail. Visit blackhorsegarage.com for more. At Black Horse. Back on Nutmeg Sports, again, our thanks to Coach Angelo Singerliotis of the McMahon girls soccer team.
Say that 10 times fast.
I've known Angelo since we were 5-6 years old. We played baseball and hockey growing up together. The most impressive thing I've done on any FCX tour, after seeing him for the first time in 5 years, I was still able to spell his last name.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Got that going. Listen, I think he's done a great job with McMahon. McMahon, to me, is an FCX playoff team this year. We're going to find out a lot about them tonight against Ludlow. I know it's early on, but this is a very good test to have in your first game.
And I think this is a program right now it's buying into what head coach has to say, and that's something that is so key for a young coach like him going into his second year. The first year, you really try and get out the kinks, and he had some seniors who really bought into the program, and you talked to him about what he had as leaders last year, and yes, they fell to some tough games throughout the FCX, and they just missed it by a game or so, but they made states, and that's something to be very proud of. But you're right, this is a new year for the McMahon Senators on the girls soccer side. I think you're going to see them make a lot of improvements and really raise some eyebrows, and I think this is going to be a very competitive game tonight.
On the other side of the pitch tonight, Fairfield Ludlow 1-0. They had a 3-1 win at Stanford to open up their season. That's a very strong win for a Ludlow team, Kevin, that I was unsure of what to expect coming into this season, and I think that win actually is a bigger statement than it's going to get credit for starting at Stanford there.
It is. That's a huge statement win against a very talented team like Stanford, because each year in and year out, Stanford's always that middle-of-the-pack team that always gives people problems, especially early part of the year. But the fact that Fairfield Ludlow, with question marks coming into the year, was able to take care of business, especially like a score like 3-1, they dominated possession, they got good shots on net, and they were rewarded with 3 goals. I think you look at Natalie Kelchner as the keeper for the Ludlow Falcons. She's going to be someone that I think could easily be an all-FCAC and all-state keeper.
Outside of Ludlow and Stanford, 12 other teams have played a game going back to this past weekend. Let's go down the list here. You tell me the game that surprised you most, all right? You've got Wilton 2-0 over West Hill. Staples big over Trinity 6-0. New Canaan splits with Danbury 1-1. Ridgefield and Trumbull play to a draw at 0-0. Ward 4-0 over Norwalk. Darien 6-0 over Greenwich. Is there a game out of those right now that you are surprised by a lack of performance by one team or a reach performance by another team?
Well, I think you have to automatically look at that Ridgefield-Trumbull 0-0 tie. I think you look at that draw, and You wonder, how is Richfield going to score this year? They lost so much, and the question mark has to be what's going on up front. And I think you look at that back four, they get some good players back like Claire Middlebrook, but who's going to be that goal scorer? Who's going to be that Katie Jasminski like they had last year? Clearly, it's a question mark in that game. Trumbull, another team that could be able to score. So a scoreless draw like that, a little surprising. I think you look at Darien putting up 6 goals. Very impressive. How about New Canaan? I think they're a team that's pretty much under the radar this year that has some very talented seniors. Wilton, that's a very nice win for them. I think they're going to be another good team this year. You look at Staples. I think there weren't too many huge surprises. I think, again, a big win like that over West Hill for Wilton, that's got to be a confidence builder because that's a team right there that I think is going to go neck and neck with St. Joe's.
Definitely a very strong win for Wilton. I agree with that at West Hill. And you're right. I think it's a team that can surprise in the conference. I think they've got the right mold in place to have a deep playoff run. I think we learn a lot about New Canaan today against Greenwich. It's a game they should win. Yeah. They're definitely more talented than the Cardinals. But how does this New Canaan team handle that position now? Can you win the games you're supposed to win? I like that you use the word impressive for Darien instead of surprise because, as you know, I'm all in on the Blue Wave Girls soccer team. I think they will be the best team in the conference this year.
Okay.
That is a statement coming out of the gate and hanging 6 on Greenwich. Greenwich is no slouch of a program. They're probably middle of the pack, maybe fighting for that 8th spot, but Darien being 6 goals better than them is a legit statement.
And I think coming into this year, I had a lot of hope for Greenwich. I thought I gave them a lot of high praise coming into this year. I didn't think they'd be an 8th type of seed. I expected them to be around the top 4, maybe top 5. They have a loaded roster in depth, so I'm surprised that they lost their first game. This is going to be a very interesting game though against New Canaan today. These are two teams that you're right. I think you look at it now and throughout the rest of the season could be an early round matchup. That could be a first round matchup, maybe even a second round matchup in the FCIAC tournament because I think these two teams have the talent to get to the playoffs.
I think for Greenwich it's beneficial you get Darien out of the way early on. You now know the bar you're chasing. In my opinion, again, they're top there. Staples over Trinity Catholic. Obviously, Trinity has been in a bit of a rut as a program of late. They're struggling to find a way to be competitive with these. It's difficult to do. You're such a small-sized school in this conference. It's very difficult to be able to compete on par the way these public schools do. Staples is a team, to me, I think we see them in the 2 or 3 spot for the tournament.
Oh, I fully agree.
And I think they're going to go very quietly about their business, almost under the radar-esque. You'll start to notice it around game 7 or 8 or 9, and you look at that record and you're sitting at 6-1-1, 7-1-2. Mm-hmm. I think that's right around where we're going to see the Wreckers, and they just carry that momentum into the second half of the season.
I really like the Wreckers. I think you look at Staples and Wilton are almost identical in a way, roster-wise and how they play. I really like the two of them this year to be that kind of dark horse in the playoffs because, yes, St. Joe's is going to be there. We all know that they are loaded with talent. They're going to be there. And we look at also, you look at Ludlow, they're going to be there as well, I believe. You know, Darien's a very talented roster. Richfield takes a step back, but you always expect those type of teams to be there. Staples and Wilton have a little chip on their shoulder, I think, this year. They want to get back to that FCIAC tournament and reclaim the conference.
Danbury gets Staples this afternoon. That game is at Staples. Trumbull travels to Danbury. Central will play at West Hill. Trinity Catholic at St. Joe's. Our first look at the Cadets today. I think many expect them to roll here.
They're going to roll. Yeah. This is a very talented roster. Tori Bike, if you haven't seen her play yet, you haven't seen her play defense and shut forwards and midfielders down, please do yourself a favor and go watch her play because she is a very talented soccer player.
Greenwich at New Canaan, as we mentioned, of course, will be at Fairfield Ludlow for when they host Brian McMahon. The last 2 games to me are very interesting ones.
Okay.
Stanford at Ridgefield.
Yep.
Wilton at Norwalk.
I like that Wilton-Norwalk game. I do. I think Norwalk, even though they lost their first game, I think you look at that and this is going to be a tough matchup for Wilton, an early matchup for them because Norwalk, this is a very talented team. I think you look at them on the girls' side and boys' side, they're going to make a lot of noise this year. Stanford Ridgefield, another strong game. I think this needs to be a bounce-back game, though, for the Ridgefield Tigers. They need to get a win on their shoulder early on.
Stanford does not want to fall into an 0-2 hole, and we'll find out if Norwalk maybe just those first game jitters, or if Ward is potentially a team we need to keep an eye out for. We've got one more break in store here, but when we get back, we got plenty more action from opening weekend and the first week of the regular season coming up on Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network.
Now teeing off, Paul Miller from Miller Nissan in Fairfield.
Excuse me, Mr. Miller. What about my new Sentra?
Right now, lease a 2017 Sentra S for only $97 a month.
He is never going to retire.
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Over 80 teas to choose from and a brilliant assortment of biscuits to go with them. Over 70 cheeses from grass-fed cows, which makes a smashing difference in taste. The creamiest chocolate you'll ever taste using no artificial colors or preservatives. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Registration is now open for our fitness training programs for high school athletes. The InSports Performance Center is offering blast speed classes, athletic functional movement assessments, and both men's and women's elite speed and strength training. Our premier programs help bring athletes to the next level. Call 203-268-1214 for more information. Like and follow us on Facebook.
Manfredi New Canaan is celebrating 3 exceptional years selling Rolex watches and fine jewelry to the Fairfield County community. We appreciate all our loyal clients and look forward to welcoming and helping you discover the perfect gift to celebrate life's most important occasions. Bankwell combines the best personalized service with high-tech banking features for our customers' convenience. We pride ourselves on being a strong community partner. You don't settle for average in anything else you do. Why settle for an average bank? Don't just bank when you can bank well instead. Visit mybankwell.com for more. Bankwell.
Back on the HAN Network, just finishing my Snapchat of Kevin. Add to the story. Make sure you're following us on Snapchat, Instagram, all our social media.
Nice plug.
Yeah, right there. Good.
There
We're at HAN.network. You can get us at Nutmeg Sports on Twitter. You said you had a topic that you wanted to address here as we just enter in now. We got 8 minutes left. First full week of the regular season. What should we be looking out for here?
I think you have to be a little concerned if you're the Richfield Tigers boys soccer team. Starting off 0-2, this is, you're starting off, yes, I understand you're starting off against a very talented Trumbull team. You go on and lose 2-1 to Trumbull, lose 2-1 at Stanford. This Richfield boys soccer team has to bounce back. This is a very talented roster. You look up and down. This is a roster that Coach Phil Bergen has been waiting to get his hands on. And you look at last year, throw it out the window. Look at this year now. You guys need to step up. Erase these 2 games. Come back. You're taking care of business tomorrow against Trinity Catholic. Get a win under your belt, because if you go 0-3, you better start hitting the alarm button right now, because this is going to be a very ugly start for the Richfield Tigers if they go 0-3 in boys soccer.
Boys soccer-wise, you look at that first weekend, is this just everyone chasing Trumbull and Greenwich again right now?
It is, but listen, you can't count out Norwalk.
I like Norwalk a lot, and they bring back Echeverry,
who
who I think is one of the most explosive players in the conference.
I mean, Greenwich and Trumbull, yes, they have the target on their back, Frank, but Norwalk, if I want to play for any team right now, it's Norwalk, because they're flying under the radar right now. Very talented senior roster. This is very senior heavy with some help of some sophomores and some juniors as well. Great goalkeeping. This is a very talented Norwalk roster. Greenwich and Trumbull, they're going to be there. They bring back, I mean, it's amazing that Greenwich graduated 23 seniors and is still able to put up the amount of goals, still able to dominate games like they are. Trumbull, again, an amazing coaching staff, some great seniors again, like the Connecticut boys. They're gonna score goals. I like Danbury. I like Staples coming back. West Hill is going to be another team in the mix. I do like this Ludlow team. We got a chance to speak to them a lot during the FCIAC tour. This is a very senior-heavy team that's buying in. I'm excited for this FCIAC boys soccer schedule for the season. I think it's very wide open. It's very exciting. There's going to be it's a little bit of refreshing in a way, but there's some very talented soccer players in this pool.
A wide open is the right word, and I think we're going to see that both on the boys' side and the girls' side. Many are chasing Trumbull and Greenwich at the top there, but there are definitely capable squads of picking them off. I think it'll be a very exciting and thrilling FCX tournament again. I'm very excited for field hockey tomorrow on the HA Network. We'll obviously have a big preview of that. But defending conference champions Wilton traveled to New Canaan. Wilton lost their first game of the season. New Canaan, third coach in as many years. They're hoping this is the one that's going to get stuck in place. They're 1-0, but I think you find out a lot about the Rams. People have high expectations. They're looking for big things from the Rams this year. Where do they fit in the mix of the whole conference?
Oh, they're right there in the pack. You know, that's a big first win for them, and I think tomorrow you really get a test of what Wilton's going to be like, because they go into New Canaan, and that's not going to be an easy second game for them, especially dropping that first game like that. I expected Wilton to come in and be red hot this year, and I think for New Canaan, they have to feel pretty confident now that. Yes, they have a very talented Wilton Warrior team coming in, but I think this is going to be a very strong game. We actually got a chance to see a little bit of their practice on Friday when we were setting up for the Friday Night Football game at New Canaan. And I kind of liked what I saw from the Rams for their field hockey team. So I think it's going to be a very exciting game tomorrow at 4:30.
High energy program right now, a lot of excitement. It's, okay, how do we get back to competing at the top of the conference? Field hockey, for me, will be the closest sport to chalk that we see. The top teams are going to be the top teams, and it's just a matter of who can outlast one another down the stretch into the FCX tournament. Volleyball, they're playing out of conference right now. These are games that the FCX will either split or not. I think the majority of the top teams will win. Conference play starts next week. When we dive into that, I expect that to be a very Stanford is the favorite, and I think everyone is chasing Stanford and Andrew O'Connor. But they are going to get everyone's best effort each night, and I'm excited to see what teams step up to the challenge in that one. First one we're going to see, Kevin, is going to be Ridgefield at Stanford. That's next Monday, the 18th.
You want high energy? That gym at Stanford is going to be high energy. I tell you what, that's going to be a lot of fun. One team that's going to bring their best all season is Brian McMahon. Chip on their shoulder. They lost in the FCX final to Stanford. I think they want to regain and come back and show everyone that they deserve to be there again and hopefully take that title.
You were talking about high energy. How about Friday night when we go to Norwalk High? West Hill and Norwalk. Two teams combined to score 118 points last weekend. It's going to be high energy, high-octane offense as well. Kev, we're running out of time here. Your last thoughts, just what are you expecting from tonight? McMahon, Ludlow, one thing to watch on both sides.
I think you got to look at both keepers tonight. I think they're very talented on both sides. Peyton McNamara for Brian McMahon, very talented player. Bridget O'Leary for Fairfield Ludlow, another talented. Both teams have players up top that can score, but they also have goalies that can make some outstanding and eye-opening saves. I think it's going to be a little slow at first because Brian McMahon, this is their first game. I think they're still trying to get still trying to get adjusted. And listen, this is a Fairfield Ludlow team that's very talented, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I know you're snapping right there, but it's going to be a great game tonight. I expect a very, very fun game. Listen, if you're not coming, I think everyone in Fairfield should come down to Taft Field. It's going to be a great matchup.
I don't know how to turn the Snapchat off either. That's bad. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are on the air, 6:45, Kevin and myself. We'll see you during the pregame show. Then Aiden Blanc is going to join us as well from the Fairfield Ludlow Broadcasting class, I guess, would it be now? Class or department?
Yeah.
We're excited to have him along. For Kevin Coleman, I'm Frank Granito. Thanks again to Coach Angelo Singerliotis. I'll give Kevin the social phone back. We'll be normal again tomorrow on Nutmeg Sports right here on the HAN Network.